Hello, good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Chin Up Show tonight. For many years, I was the host for a show called Happy Life, and I'm honored to having you to view my show. And after I have written the book Happy Life, I learned so much more about life by talking and engaging with people. I have touched by many of those stories that how we were able to overcome our obstacles. Looking back, we all can live a happy life by helping others, having a positive attitude, be patient and passionate and learn how we can love our jobs and live in paradise. And believe in ourselves saying, yes, we can. That's HAPPY, happy. And life by sharing love, continue to improve, understand fairness, and learn and teach with education. That's LIFE. And we all can do all that. And when we do one time or all the time or once in a while, by doing so, we always can have a happy life. A few months ago, it was a privilege to receive an email from one of my friends that I have never met. He works with a group of homeless youths in Northern Virginia and in DC area. His stories inspired me so much. And he told me that my book has been helping him to spread the message that we all can overcome our obstacles and to turn the negative impact to positive outcomes. But it's difficult for the youth to understand sometimes, especially they will have no food and no home to live in. So, in the last couple of months, I want to come up with a new program and went back to the basic. Life is difficult at times. We all know that. There's many, many different stories to share, and we all know that. So in order for us to go back to the basic of living a happy life, we need to keep our chin up, regardless of our situation. So the title of the show for this session is called Chin Up. As always, keep our chin up. I'm honored having you to watch the show tonight, and it's a privilege to work with the young people and helping others so that they can see the world is a brighter world tomorrow, regardless the situation of yesterday and today. So I'm also very honored to have one of my friends. I call him Butch, and he is going to tell you his true name, and my honor to having you, Butch, to come to my show. So tell my guests, what is your full name?
My name is Alonzo Bowler.
Mr. Bowler?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And I want you, my audience, to learn a little bit of story from my friend, Mr. Bowler, and about how he can overcome his obstacles and share his story with you, my audience, golden audience. Thank you so much.
Well, my career began many years ago, almost 40 years ago. And I was raised when there was the Negro sign and the white sign on the doors to water fountains, restaurants, and anything else that black people and white people congregated together. After going through that, or living through that, I should say, I was born and raised out in a small community out in the country. Mm-hmm. And it had to be God sent a guy in my life. He asked me about getting into sales. And at that time, there were no black salespeople in the area. My first job I didn't get the job. The first application that I put in for a salesperson's job was at a all-white country radio station. Mm-hmm. And I guess I'll always remember that because when it happened, I didn't get the job, by the way, but I got a real nice letter. And even to this day, 40 years later, I still remember the words of the letter, which said, "Dear Mr. Bowler, thank you for applying for our sales position. You are qualified. However, there were one or more applicants more so qualified. But due to the Privacy Act, we can't tell our advertiser about you, but we can tell you about our advertiser," which I guess getting started, I felt down and they rejected because I didn't get the job that I thought I would get. Mm-hmm. However, the job that they sent me to another town, but it was paying twice as much as what they were paying. So, again, ironically, these are first in this area because I don't think any black guys that even thought about sales because we worked on commission. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So you didn't have a salary to go with it. I went into the mobile home business. And the thing about the mobile home, I was the first there also. Mm. But the very first person that I talked with, the first customer that I talked with, I sold.
Congratulations. How nice.
Yeah.
So it tells me that you are a very passionate person. People like to do business with you.
Well, it's through my experience, mm-hmm. We are not here to sell people, we are here to assist people.
Okay.
Help them purchase whatever good it is that's best for them, not to harm them in any way.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
To go farther than that, from the mobile home business, I tried to sell a new car manager a mobile home, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I tried to sell him a mobile home, and I did not sell him a mobile home. Mm-hmm. But he told me, he said, before you go anywhere else, if you decide to get out of the mobile home business, before you go anywhere else, you come and talk to me. So I went to see him. I got hired.
Very nice.
Then I was into the car business.
I see. And how long have you been in the automobile business now?
32 years.
And I'm sure that you still enjoy doing it.
I do. I enjoy helping people.
Awesome.
You know,
I hope that you don't mind that I'm going to interject you a little bit.
No.
But for many years, when I was growing up, Mr. Bowler, is that there was a joke. Those are 3 different types of people you're not supposed to trust. The politician, right? Am I right or wrong about that one?
Yeah.
And the lawyers,
right.
And the car salesmen. Oh, I mean, right. I don't mean to be impolite now.
I understand.
I mean, just a joke. And to hearing that, and personally, I know you, and I understand you're a very honorable person. You are not only a sales consultant, but you're also a minister. Right. And you also lead people to do the right thing. And you're always out there to help other people. I admire you a lot.
Thank you.
Want to call you that you're my mentor, even though I'm older than you. So I know you, and your story and the thing that you went through, coming from a negative environment and finding a job that people seeing you that you are a trier, that you keep trying and you are a personated individual. So there's a lot of way to get us from point A to point B by doing the right thing. Is it what I hear from you?
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay.
When we first started to walking,
Uh-huh.
the first time we stood up to step,
Okay.
we fell back down.
Absolutely, yeah,
Okay,
that's normal.
so that's the same thing as far as improving your situation.
Yes, sir.
You're going to have some ups and downs, but you have to persevere.
Well, that's another thing that I heard and reminded me again. I heard that many years ago, but was reminded not long ago during a football game. One of the greatest coach said, I can be defeated, but I cannot be, no, I can be destroyed, but not defeated. I think that was the quote.
Right.
And I can be destroyed, but not defeated. So I think that you get a very good point, because you can destroy me, but you're not able to defeat my spirit.
Right.
So whatever that you fail, you want to come back up and do it again. And even you fail again. And if you don't mind, I want to relate this story with my audience. It just came to my mind. And during the last recession, we had a lot of people went through the obstacles, losing jobs, losing homes, and losing businesses, losing health care, and now too, as you know, that some people is losing health care right now. So we all have such a hard time. And a lot of people, continue to work hard. The way that I look at it, the way you say that you fall down and then you won't get back up again, even though you keep falling down after you keep trying, but the process give you something to do.
Right.
Give you a spirit to live up for the next day, something to look forward to. So the way that I wrote the book, the first book, called Happy Life, there's a turtle fry story that I don't feel pain anymore because I get used to be falling down so many times.
Right.
So I guess that is very much that we're on the same page of stories.
Yeah, if you set yourself or your sights fixed on a destination, you will find a way to get there.
Okay, all right.
And pray.
Pray.
Put God first.
Yes, sir.
And work at it. You need a plan. You see, I'll tell you this. A plan, I'll rephrase that. An objection without a plan is that's a wish.
Okay. So when you wish something, you have to have a plan and work with your plan. Then you become success.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Well, thank you for sharing your wisdom too. That's very, very encouraging.
Yeah.
So when you have a dream or vision, you act on it, it became reality. That's what you're trying to explain to my audience, right?
Yes. It wasn't easy.
Not easy.
But
the process can be fun.
It is fun.
Even you fail.
Right.
Just like get to the Super Bowl or maybe playing a ball game with your neighbors. You may lose 0 to 10, but in the process, you have some fun. You have the hope to do it again tomorrow, or the next week or next day. And it reminds me when I played chess with my wife, and when she first started, like 15 years ago, it took her maybe like 5-6 months to beat me for the very first time by playing chess. Because I don't want to let her win, you know what I mean? She had to earn it. But once she did it, after so many different tries,
she knew how to do it.
It's better than $1 million in her hands, She gave me the biggest hug ever because she was able to beat me on a chess game. So, yeah, failure is good. We have to see it as a road to success. And sometimes it takes a while, and sometimes it's never there, but the process we have to enjoy.
Right.
That's right. And such a, let me, I want to hear more about your story rather than just my story.
Yep.
Okay. So I understand that you had a very challenged early part of your life before you found a job. Tell me a little bit about, where you come from and why that you, at what age that you become a sales consultant and try to find a job that is not even, or maybe have a very little chance to get that job.
Well,
as a sales consultant, because it's hard to be the first. You told me that, and my audience, you're the first black consultant in the community. Am I correct?
right. Well,
Right. So,
I guess when I was actually living it, it didn't faze me,
good point.
But I remember thinking one day, and I had this feeling that was just down in my heart that I had to do something different. I had to improve my life, and I wanted it, and it's a real bad feeling, but it really kickstarted.
Okay.
It really kickstarted me. And, I remember when I first got in sales, I had associates that would actually tease me. I had one in particular that would tell me that he would wager that I had not made enough money to pay for my cleaners.
The cleaner was inexpensive back then, right? Not like today. Expensive nowadays.
Yeah. So that really gives you an idea of what he thought about it.
Right.
However, I've been fortunate. I've been blessed. And by the way, I got the job, I told you, in the car business. And I stayed there about 30 days. I went to the owner, and I asked him, I said, well, to me, I was not progressing. And it was something new to me, so I wanted to know, in their thoughts, what changes I could make or adjustments.
Right. How you can improve yourself.
Right.
Right.
So I asked him, I said, I would like for you or your managers to observe me and listen to me handle customers and give me some advice. He said, we've done that.
Oh.
And he said, you aren't doing anything wrong. Well, at that point, I had to make a decision.
Right.
If I'm doing this right and I'm not progressing, then I'm at the wrong place.
I see.
I said, thank you, sir. It's been a pleasure. I appreciate the opportunity, but I'm cleaning my desk out.
Oh, that was funny.
Well,
so you had the confidence, though.
Well,
So we, go back to the basic then. In order for you to be successful, you have to have confidence and understand where you are, and you focus your goal.
right. You really need to understand where you are.
Right, and assess the situation.
Yeah.
But by working in the environment of your first job, it was able to enhance your knowledge. It's going to be the next step is going to be able to propel you and better prepare for the next job too.
Right.
So the time that you spend there is not waste.
No. If you're in the same field or same line of work, yes, it's going to really improve you. Of course, we learn through whatever we go through. We should learn something from it.
That's right. That's why we go to school, right?
Right.
And when we were going to school, especially when I was going to school back in Hong Kong, once again, some of my audience, maybe the first time they visit me, when I first came to this country at the age of 16, I could not speak any English. I came from Hong Kong, and so when I first came to this country, I want to quit school too. Because, when you go to classes and the teacher always give you a grade of 0 or nothing. That was not too fun, you know what I mean?
Right.
But then, even though you don't learn anything, but by observing, and you do learn something,
Right.
by keep trying. And even though that, a lot of things that I learned in biology, algebra, whatever, I may not reapply it again today, but those education, it create a frame of mind and your vision.
Right.
And everything that you learn each day can help you silently but productively down the road without knowing it.
Right.
Am I correct about that, sir?
I agree with that 100%.
Yes, sir.
And in my case, I didn't really realize what was happening.
I see.
I was at the point where there was a not need, but gotta have.
I felt. I know exactly how you say it. That's a quick face. I love it. Okay. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Got to have. However, when I guess I decided that this is the career that I like. I like helping people because I believe a person or a customer starts as a customer. And then they become a friend.
That's awesome.
Because I look at it this way. Most people have a doctor, they have a dentist, they have an attorney.
I don't like that phrase.
I understand, but these are the people that, and whenever they have a problem in that field, they call
the same person.
The same person.
That's right.
So my idea was to have my customers or friends do the same for me. When they thought about a car, I want the first number they dial was mine.
That's right, and they want you want them to remembering you as a friend, not as a car salesman.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Well, let's go back to the same old joke that I just related to you not long ago. And people see a lot of automobile sales consultants. They are not there to help them. They are trying to put money into their own pocket and try to take advantage of the customers. That was, that is a common belief back in the 70s and the 80s. Do you feel like the time change is more transparent nowadays and because the customer has better knowledge with the internet, the research that they have done? And I know that you are so different than the other salespeople, but maybe all of the salespeople are honest. We just perceive that they are, in a position that they negotiate with the purchaser. So, and I want you to touch base with that a little bit. Why people think that the sales consultant is always there to take advantage of them, and how we can erase that image, and telling the general public that most the sales consultant are there to serve the community. Don't see maybe a small handful of bad ones, bad apples, to ruin the reputation of sales consultants.
Well, Paul was a tax collector.
Paul. Okay, so he's one of your friends or one of the stories?
Paul wrote books in the Bible.
Oh, okay.
He was an apostle.
Okay, you're apostle. Okay.
And back in his day, the tax collector was a hated person.
I don't think they changed much today.
He did a lot of things. However, but through God's grace, he changed him.
Oh, okay.
And he went to helping millions and millions of people.
Sure.
Okay. Now, in most sales consultants, back in years past, is where they got the reputation of being crooks, and a lot of movies and stuff led to that same thing. But the automobile business as a whole, I tell you what I think. I think that we have more consumers that come in and tell the salesperson untruths than the other way around. Because that salesperson, if he told you an untruth, his manager would discipline him. He could lose his job behind it.
I see.
But there's nobody to say that consumer won't come in and say, well, tell you an untruth.
I see.
What's going to happen? Nothing.
Nothing. Right.
You know?
It's all about the negotiating tactic, the way that the common people see it.
Right.
Well, tell me about your ministry, and I know that you're always out there to help people on a daily basis. And tell me your thoughts about, the teaching, the learning, the leading, and the ministry that you have been practicing the last 30 years.
Well, I believe that ministering doesn't stop within the walls of the church.
Mm-hmm.
I think that you have to get outside of the walls of the church, and it's something that you do 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
And you can be, wherever you are, there's somebody that needs to talk to somebody. And if you think your problems are bad, just listen to somebody else.
That's right.
So if you are ministered to only in the pulpit, then I feel sorry.
I see.
Because
So what you're telling me is that every single day, every single moment, whoever come across your path, you try to lead them to the right path if you have a chance. And that's your ministry.
right, and there's not anything, I think, there are not many things in my life that make me feel any better than a total stranger to just look at you and come in and say, "Are you a minister?"
Mm-hmm. When they do,
They
they are
can
ready for you to guide them. That's a great feeling.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I also heard you a little while ago, you say, well, I feel bad about my own situation until you hear some other people's story, right? And I heard a joke about that. So may I share that with you?
Yeah, share it with me.
Okay. Well, a gentleman that he was a very successful business person, but after whatever the problem that he had, he went to see a psychiatrist.
Mm-hmm.
And he told him that this is my last $400 I want to pay you, and then I'm going to disappear from this world because I'm not happy. The psychiatrist looked at his eyes and said, "Son, I understand exactly how you feel. You feel helpless, don't you?" He said, "Of course. I'm having no hope in my life at all." He said, "No, this is $400 I don't need. But buy a ticket to Haiti. Right after the thunderstorm, the big problem they had, and you go there and visit, and then you do whatever you decide to do." So indeed, he purchased a ticket as told and went to Haiti. He only got $1 left. The ticket cost him $399. But you know what? He looked at a group of children. He looked at this $1. He said, $1 means nothing to me. But in Haiti, that one single dollar bill is going to worth so much. You can buy new bottles of water to give all these children, or buy a meal for them tonight. Mm-hmm. That's what that means. He said, this is $1. He started working as a volunteer and helped these people because I thought I was in poor and in need. Until I came to Haiti, look at all these beautiful children that they are helpless. They need my help. My life is worth of dying, not dying. So he reborn by the inspiration of seeing some other people less fortunate than he was. 5 years later, when he came back to the U.S., saw the psychiatrist again, but not in his office though, in the grocery store. He shook hand. He said, "Now I found a new mission, and thank you for your airline ticket and the dollar that you left for me." So, and that's very similar to what we are talking about, you know. So you thought that your situation is unchangeable, is hopeless. But as long as you have the will to live and willing to help others, there's always a brighter life out there awaiting for us. In a grocery store, not in the psychiatry office. So if you can afford to eat, then you're in good shape.
Right, right.
Am I right?
You're right.
Yeah.
You're
okay.
right.
All right.
Yeah.
So what are your plans in the near future about the ministry, or about your job, and about your sales consultant experiences? Because I know that you had a lot of sales experiences. You have helped a lot of people to put them on the right path. Do you have a plan that what would you like to do in the next a month, a year, or in the near future?
Well, I think that eventually I haven't decided when I'll stop selling cars.
Because that's your passion, right? You love to do what you're doing.
But I also are being pulled more to the ministry, and I would like to get to doing that full time. But we have debts that we have to take care of also.
I fully understand. There's a need, and there's other things that we need to take care of.
Right.
And but every day that you see people, you are there to help them. And sometimes, my dear audience, it's not how much that you can do for other people, as long as we are doing our share, okay? And that rippling effect is going to change other people's life without we knowing it. Am I correct? And in the earlier days when I first met you, Butch, you told me that you are there to help others. You don't look at the end result. And I want you to explain to me, what do you mean that you don't look at the end result?
Well, you got to look at what's at hand. To that consumer, the most important thing is getting the right car. Not just getting a car, because you could, if you tried to, you probably could convince them to buy more car than they really could afford. That's the same thing that happened with our plunge with the housing market. But that's not advantageous to anybody.
Right.
You have to sit down with them and consult with them and get them to give you the information.
Right. So that you can help them, to guide them, so that they don't overly extend it themselves.
Right. They'll buy a car that they can enjoy.
And also can afford. That's what you're talking about.
Right.
And you regard to the younger generation when you guide them, and what kind of a word that you try to encourage with these young people, and how do you handle it? When they come in and tell you their problem, whatever that might be.
Well, I think that the best way to actually help a person or give them advice is you got to really listen to what they're saying to you.
That's very important. Sometimes I overlook that because I talk too much. Not listen enough. So from this point on, I have to listen more.
But
by helping others.
God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth.
Correct.
Yeah. But if you listen to people, they will tell you
their problems.
And you can't help everybody, because everybody don't want to be helped. But if I can do something to change one person's life, then I feel happy.
Exactly. The rippling effect is tremendous. And I truly believe that, Butch. I think you're absolutely right in that regard. A lot of time that whatever that we do, we don't know the outcome.
Right.
We don't know. Because when we do know the outcome, 9 or 10 that we fail, then nobody will start doing anything. So
you don't know, right?
Yeah, the genius is 1% of your intelligence and 99% is hard work. And so why do you have to work hard? Because you fail so many times.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So you keep doing it until you can be successful. So, and I think you're absolutely right about that regard. So now, from now on, I want to listen more and talk less. But in the same time, one thing I have learned about living a happy life, I always say, when you out there to help other people, or even somebody helping me, we all find happiness.
Right.
Will you agree with that, sir? That's why you're out there always trying to help other people.
Right.
You find joy by doing it, right?
Sure.
And you always, like the situation that you were in, even though you have not tell and share that with our audience, when you brought up with a childhood, nothing is perfect for you. That's why you need to find a job young and get into a territory that is not comfortable to you, but you try to get a job because you need one, not because you want one.
Well, well, that wasn't the main reason. I grew up in a poor setting. Mm-hmm. Okay, I remember having to take used soap, and put it in a sock. You put a bunch of them in there to have soap to take a bath.
I see.
Okay, I remember having to go outside to the toilet. It's what we call a toilet. It was a bathroom.
Right.
Well, it wasn't a bathroom. It was a toilet.
Right, I understand.
Because there was no running water.
Right.
But those are things that, I came into the world like that.
I see.
But you have to understand that where you start is just that. It is just a start.
Right.
That doesn't mean that that's where you're going to end up. Mm-hmm. I look at life as a elevator.
Like a process.
That's what it is.
Right.
That's exactly what it is. It's
right.
a process. It's not something that, we all don't start on the first floor. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Some of us are fortunate that we can start on a higher floor.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes they have to go down to the bottom too.
See what I'm saying?
Yes, and they go back up, right? I mean, that's what the elevator is all about.
That's
up and
right.
down.
That's right.
Good point.
That's what life is. It's
right.
And right after I stopped at the point when I was getting in the car business. I got in the car business, and the first job wasn't for me. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But the next one, it took off.
Blossom. Just like spring.
Yeah, blossom.
Blossom. Good.
I sold Chevy, O's, and Buick.
Okay.
And I became Legion of Leaders, which was Chevrolet.
Wow.
Sales Masters, which was Buick. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And Vanguard, which was Oldsmobile.
I see.
Which is a distinguished club for exceptional sales.
Terrific.
Same year.
Same year. Wow.
Right.
Wow.
But to give you an idea of what it was being the first, I worked at that job for 5 years. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And it took me 7 years to find out that from the day that I walked in there until the time that I walked out, I had been sales of the month every month.
Wow. How about that? Well, congratulations once again. That's awesome. Very nice. That's something that you should feel extremely proud about yourself.
Well, I go back to again, yes, I feel proud that I improved my life. Mm-hmm. But I've always had big ideas. I always wanted to do something better to improve myself. Mm-hmm. And enjoying people and the carpet, it was for me. It may not be for everybody, but
right.
I could communicate with customers and people real well, and I've been successful. In my career, I've been sales manager, I've been general manager, I've owned my own lot for 10 years.
Awesome.
Okay. The only thing about management is you lose the contact with the people.
I see. Because you spend so much time to manage your sales staff, so you don't have...
And everything else.
And everything else.
Right. That you don't have that one-on-one with the...
Well, you like to engage with the general public.
Sure.
Yeah. That's very important because, you know, when you're thinking about sales, you know, and, you know, you're absolutely right. You know, you're providing a service. You don't want to sell anybody anything. You want them to buy something. So you're providing the services to engage with the consumers. And the purchasing experience should be pleasant. It's a shopping experience.
Right.
Not try to force them to sell something or buy something. You know, it's up to them and keep them as happy people. So I think your mentality, that's why you're successful, because you have that mentality out there to serve people, not to sell them something. And I think that is very important. That's why that I want to bring you to our show. And a lot of young people that they want to make a dollar today or yesterday. But sometimes, just like you,
it takes time.
It takes time. And more importantly, we have to listen, right? Right? To listen, right?
Right.
Well, you know, it's really interesting talk about listening, you know, and nowadays we have a lot of young people, especially the young children, my grandchildren or, you know, nephew, niece, whatever. They are so smart nowadays.
They are.
You know, and they don't listen anymore. So, and instead of talking to us, you know, they text and playing with the computers. And when they're eating, my grandchildren too, okay? They're always watching, you know, a little games and playing little game while they're eating.
Multitasking.
More, yeah. That is so unique. I don't know how we can term it or evaluate it. That's right or wrong or whatever. But it's become a norm.
Yeah, I don't know if you could categorize as being wrong.
Right.
It's just a different way of communicating.
Yeah.
You know, they communicate differently from our generation.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of changes, you know. But since you told me that little bit about where you came from, and I would like to share with my audience that where I came from.
Okay.
Okay? I was born in Hong Kong right after the Second World War. My father and mother married right after the war, but my father cannot find a job in Hong Kong. Life was tough. Right after the war, all the people from Canton in China, they all went to Hong Kong to live and try to find a job because they don't want to stay in China because China at that time became communist overnight, right after the Second World War, not long thereafter. So my father cannot find a job, and he had an opportunity to come to this country. My mother and I live in Hong Kong just by ourselves. And we were so poor because my father came here, he had to make a living, he did not make that much money. And the communication back then is by boat. You know, you send a letter, it takes about 6 weeks. You send a, aerogram, it costs you a fortune. And a long distance call, $3 some cents, American dollar. In Hong Kong, that's a month's income almost. People were so poor. And my mother, she loved me so much. She wanted me to have chicken legs because in Hong Kong, chicken leg is a golden item, okay?
Right.
It's not today, you know, today is common food, but back then, you know, very rarely that you have a chance to eat a chicken leg, just maybe in holidays or New Year's. So when my mother brought me a chicken leg for dinner, I was so excited, so happy, I hugged her, right? So there was, the chicken leg was sauteed in soy sauce. Mm-hmm. So my mother poured the soy sauce over the rice and let me eat it. And say, well, I want to eat the chicken leg. No, eat the rice first. So I ate the rice. I was full, right? My mother said, you happy? I said, yeah. Reach out for my chicken leg. She said, wait, that's for your next meal. It was like that for 4 days, Butch. At the 5th day, she let me eat the chicken leg. It was no chicken leg, it's a piece of rubber. Because she steamed that chicken leg each day so that with the soy sauce, I can eat the rice with the soy sauce. It tastes good with the flavor of the chicken, but no chicken. So the lady on the commercial, where's the beef? I say, that's lucky, you have some beef. I eat chicken without chicken. Back then. But at the end, my mother explained to me in tears. She said, I love you, but if I give you the chicken to eat, you're only going to eat one meal, you're not going to eat the rest of 4 days. But by giving you the chicken out there for you to finish your meal today and so that you can eat the chicken leg tomorrow, you always finish your meal. And that was the kind of life that I came from. So I can certainly share the story that you just told me. That's my advantage. Because right after I came to this country, I had to work hard in the kitchen. I could not speak any English. I told my mother I don't want to continue education because I have no fun in school. You know, people call me Thick Chin. You know, that my first name is Thick, right? Thick Chin, you know. I said, no, don't call me Thick Chin. Just call me Chin. You know, I was laughed at just like you did.
Right.
But I didn't think about those kind of things. So when I was growing up, I found one thing that is very important to me. As long as you don't compare yourself with other people, you don't think negatively, you find happiness. You move on with your life. So regardless what obstacle that I'm facing today, some of the story you may not heard, but everybody have a story.
Right.
Regardless the time, day, years.
They went through something.
And you can be extremely happy today, but somewhere, somehow in life is difficult at times.
Well,
and we have to keep our chin up regardless.
Reggie Jackson said it best.
Okay.
Reggie had just hit 3 home runs in the World Series.
Uh-huh.
And a reporter stuck a mic in his face and said, what are you going to do next? Reggie said, I don't have to impress anybody but me.
Mm-hmm.
And that stuck with me.
Okay.
Because you can't impress other people. Mm-hmm. You got to do what's good for you.
I understand.
You know, and
right.
You'll be okay.
You'll be okay.
You'll be okay.
You'll be okay. Well, my golden audience, you know, we heard some of our stories, and regardless your situation, you will be okay. You know, people make mistakes. We were sometimes the one make the mistake and affecting other people's lives. And sometimes the other people make their mistakes, it affecting our lives. We cannot change the past. We cannot change what happened a minute ago, but we can have a better outlook for the future. It's how we see and interpret the event. If we always think positive, we always think if, what can be worst? There's always a small window of golden opportunity that we can see by the future. Just the gentleman that went to the psychiatrist. He didn't see no future at all. But the doctor, the psychiatrist, saw that little bit of window opportunity saying, look, before you do anything smart or stupid, just go to somewhere else to take another look, to give yourself another perspective. And goodness, and thank God that he had one last dollar left.
Right.
That he can use that single dollar to help so many people. That how can you not to value yourself and knowing that you have more than $1? If you don't have an extra dollar and you have a lot of debt, don't worry. You know why? You have the smiles. The smile is worth millions of dollars, you know that, right? When you smile to someone, even though to a mirror, or a young children, or a stranger, 9 or 10 times they smile it back to you and they come back in tenfolds.
Right.
What do you think about that analogy?
Well, I think that's pretty good. It takes less muscles to smile than it does to frown.
It's true.
You know, and people can criticize, but most people that criticize you mostly envy you. You know, because every person is not going to, or every person that you think that's a friend. I would like to add that in your lifetime, you may only have a handful of true friends, even when you get our age.
Correct.
Not at the present time, but I mean throughout life. I call most people associates.
Or acquaintance.
Oh, well, right.
Right. Associate, acquaintance.
Because a friend wants to see you improve.
Absolutely.
The associates and acquaintance, they waiting for you to fall.
They were there to compete against you.
Right.
So when they see you coming down, it makes them feeling that they were going up. That's how some of the people perceive. Yeah. Well, we need to understand that is human nature, and we cannot overcome that, what other people see and feel about us and themselves. But we can control our own destiny. We can control. Let me rephrase this for a little bit, Butch, is that you can be a great leader in certain environment, but life is not about one job, one locations.
No.
It's about all unknowns. People moving from one place to the other, from one job to the other. Everything is about a learning process. You can be an extreme, intelligent individual in a certain field, but once you're changing job or forcing into a different area, you have to start it from the base again and relearn. But the confidence should not be gone away, even though you're not doing a good job right now. And even though people yelling at you, people laughing at you behind, but that's what you're telling me. We should be ourselves.
Yes, you cannot be anyone else. You gotta be you.
And accept the situation with grace.
Right.
Because when we are not doing a good job, we know we were wrong.
Right.
And it's okay for the other people to laugh at us. It's okay for people to teach us. It's okay for, whatever it is. We may not want to accept it, but we don't want to see it as a negative impact in our life. We take it with stride and moving forward with it and turn those negative energy into positive energy.
Yes.
Right? Because when I tell you that, hey, you may be a great sales consultant, maybe a good minister, but you don't know how to polish shoes. And now the only job that you can do today as a volunteer to benefit, the Red Cross or whatever, you have to help people size shoes. And you're not doing good. You mess up my shoes. I will yell at you, right?
I understand.
But your heart is there to do a good job. So even though I yell at you, the only thing that we can do is to accept the consequences. I'm sorry, I try to do better next time.
Right.
Or bring an extra pair of shoes.
Right.
Am I right?
You're right.
So and life is a learning process. Yeah. And in here, I want to encourage the young people. Life is difficult. And I know that some of the people that I'm going to engage with, during the summer, they're homeless children. I'm working with this group of people that in Northern Virginia. I want to learn a little bit more about it. I want to contribute all I can to help the one that, to see me as a friend. Mm-hmm. And like what you said, it's hard to find friends in life, but I want to be there for them. And one real thing that, Butch, that I found that friend is that you don't ask but so much for a friend.
Right.
Would you agree with that? Because it's true friend, they come to help you when you need it. When you ask them,
correct,
you ask one, you lose one.
Right.
That was my learning from the experiences. What do you
Most
think
friends
about
you won't have to ask because they all know that there's something wrong.
Right. They would ask you what happened, and they would volunteer to.
Correct.
And your friends, your true friend, will come to patronize you.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
And knowing where you are and coming to give you businesses, when you pick up the phone and ask them to come, they're not your friends. Am I right about that, sir?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, my dear audience, my golden audience, friends and family, I really enjoy talking to Butch, and I hope that you find these 1 hour is entertaining. We are not here to teach anybody anything, but we just want to share our stories. So if you have a story to share with us, feel free. Please give me a call, 804-840-7362. 804-840-7362. I would love to hear your story so that you can use your inspiration story to help more people and share with our audience. And also, if you want to learn a little bit more about me, you can go to Google, YouTube, T.S.Chin, C-H-I-N, and we always keep our chin up. And I hope that you all, as always, regardless of the situation, turning negative impact to a positive outcome. Stay helping other people. Continue to be having a positive attitude. Continue to be patient. Continue to be passionate with what you do. Believe in yourself, saying, yes, we can. Share your love with family and friends, even with strangers, with smiles. Continue to improve yourself one step each time, 1% each day, and understand fairness. Life may not be fair to you. Life may not be fair to us. But when we understand fairness better, we live a happier life, and also continue to learn and teach. By doing so with quick education, learning and teaching, how can we be unhappy? Once again, we thank you so much for watching. I wish you a very successful, happy year of 2014. I'm looking forward to meeting you and talking to you next Wednesday again. Thank you from T.S. Chin and our distinguished guest.
Thank you.
Butch.
Yes.
Thank you so much. You all have a quick night.